Can you say no comfortably and as a complete sentence when you don't want to do something? Are you constantly taking on too much and therefore feeling exhausted? Are you helping your friends and your loved ones, anyone that asks for your help, without any consideration of how that's going to impact on your emotional, physical and spiritual health? Are you sabotaging your own health by really not nurturing yourself with enough sleep, food, rest and connection with loved ones? If you are, you could have what's called a poor emotional coping style. This video is going to look at what is an emotional coping style and what a poor emotional coping style looks like and what a good emotional coping style looks like. So put simply, your emotional coping style is the way you relate to other people and how you go about getting your needs met. Now, what does a healthy emotional coping style look like? If you're lucky enough to have developed a healthy emotional coping style, then you can ask for what you want in an appropriate way, have your needs met, and recognize and express your true emotions, not your unmet needs from childhood. And importantly, you feel comfortable in your own skin. What does a poor emotional coping style look like? If you have a poor emotional coping style, you're probably the type of person who finds it very hard to set boundaries and ask for what you really want in life and express your true needs. And as a consequence, you probably take on too much and you're probably unable to say no to anyone and therefore feel chronically tired. Now, the concept of emotional coping style was very much and very well explained in an amazing book by Dr. Gabriel Mate, called When the Body Says No. And he had researched the lives of his patients, many of them in palliative care with very serious illnesses, and many of them had never learned to say no. He actually recites the example of one woman in his book, When the Body Says No. He called Mary. And Mary had a chronic autoimmune disease called scleroderma. And she was never able to feel comfortable saying no to anyone. She felt completely responsible for everybody in her life. Even in her last days, when unfortunately she was dying, she could not say no to anyone and still felt responsible for everybody. Now, Dr. Gabriel Mate interviewed Mary prior to her passing, and he found out that she had a vast store of repressed emotions. She had been passed from one home to another as an orphan, and her security lay in not speaking up for herself, in not doing anything that would ruffle anyone's feathers. So she never learned to say no. So the concept, or one of the main concepts of his book was that if you don't learn how to say no, then the body will eventually say it for you. So learning how to say no may well save your life. Because if you're chronically tired and stressed from doing too much because you can't say no, then your body is going to be overproducing the adrenal hormones cortisol. And eventually it could be underproducing that if the stress continues for any length of time. Either high levels or low levels of cortisol are very bad for you. High levels of cortisol leave you vulnerable to all disease. They increase your blood sugars and potentially leading to obesity, insulin resistance and diabetes and other autoimmune diseases and osteoporosis, and it ages you. Stress can kill you, and it is related to 75% of all disease. It really is the elephant in the room. It's something that we don't talk about enough. But managing your stress should be one of your number one priorities to a good, happy, healthy, long life. And to be able to do that, having a healthy emotional coping style is vital. Being able to say no easily when you want to is so important. And when you do say no, the people around you actually respect you more and value you more because you are valuing yourself. So if you can value yourself, you'll get more respect from other people around you. And you send a great message to your family and friends. It's okay to say no. You'll still be loved and respected for who you are. In fact, you'll be loved and respected more. I hope you've enjoyed this video on emotional coping style. And I do have a chapter in my book, Proven Steps to a Calmer, Happier, Healthier You, which is all about your emotional coping style and learning to say no. Thank you, and I look forward to our next connection.